Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! So this is not my story about my parents. However, they don't know the internet, so I will tell the story to them. So I live with my parents as I'm only 14, and my parents decided they wanted a holiday house that they can work on and have to get away from life. When we moved in, we talked to the neighbor. On one side is nice neighbors, a lovely couple who just moved into their first house, and on the other side are entitled neighbors who rent their house to any people who want to have parties. When we look around the garden, we see three very tall trees, healthy trees which have probably taken about 200 years to grow, and as we are on a dip, these trees block the view of the house on the other side of the dip very well from seeing into my parents' bedroom and bathroom, which doesn't have curtains on the windows. I think you can see what's about to happen. We have to go back to our other house so my mom can go back to work. When my mom get a call from the nice neighbors, and this conversation ensued. Hey, you need to come back here right now. The entitled neighbors are on your property with chainsaws and I don't know what they are planning to do. Wait, what? Can you stop them? I'm so sorry, but my ferry is about to leave and I need to go to work. However, I can call the police if you want. I know all of them very well, so they will come quickly. Yes, please, I will get my dad to get on the next ferry and get there as fast as he can. However, when the police got there, they were gone. I had just gotten out of school and because my dad needed to pick me up, I went with him to see what had happened. When we get there, we see this view. The three trees are gone. What is left are three very hacked-at tree stumps and some glass. They had cut down our trees and in the process smashed part of the glass wall around the deck. Hearing chainsaws, we look over. There is no fence yet. We see three mid-30 men cutting wood up probably for firewood. This is when the entitlement really starts. Hey, why did you cut down our trees? Oh hey, we were just looking over to your side and noticed that if these trees fell, they could really mess up your house. And being new neighbors, we thought we should do the neighborly thing of cutting them down for you. A sort of new neighbors helping each other out. What? Those trees were really healthy. Also, you trespassed and cut down our tree without our consent. We are calling the police on you. The neighbor got so angry at my dad for saying this. What the heck, dude? We improved your view and made sure the trees wouldn't hit your house. We helped you. Why to call the police? Now, my dad hates being called dude. It's like swearing to him, so him getting angry, also being a lot stronger and bigger than them, so he just walked inside while I stay standing there not really knowing what to do. Then the oldest, like 40 years old, looks at me and says, Hey sweetie, if you stop your dad from calling the police, we will give you an ice cream. I just turned around and walked inside as I say he said it. Was so creepy. Fast forward about a week and we find out that the trees they cut down actually blocked their view of the sea, and them cutting the trees down the view helped the rental. They have been fined a lot of money and have to do some community work as well as pay us enough money to put up a fence so that we don't have to see them anymore. The entitled neighbors have also started to rent out, so hopefully we don't ever have to see them again. Edit. I just found this out and needed to share it. My mom has added trees, but they will take about 100 years to grow tall. We are figuring out the boundary so that we can plant bushes, so the fence is harder to build, though that does unfortunately mean I can't paint it. For everyone saying to build a high fence to block their view, the fence would have to be about 5 meters tall and the build limit is 2.5 meters. Turns out they have a dog that used to poo on our and a nice neighbor's yard, so the nice neighbor are prepared to watch them build this fence while we are not at the house to make sure they do not do anything wrong. Okay, so the cast of this story, but with fake names. Me, the one who witnessed the madness. Donna, my savior manager. Johnny, the assistant manager. Bruce, my co-worker. Man-child, the entitled villain of our story. The nice lady, a polite customer that was right next to the man-child. and the nice man another polite customer who had to deal with the man-child's crap. The setting: a restaurant named after a smoked dried ripe jalapeno chili pepper. Now on to the story. It was a lunch rush hour in a restaurant, so a lot of people were coming in. I was just working at the cashier, trying to move as fast as possible. My managers were handling online orders as customers picked up their food. It was packed. Things were going smoothly until the man-child comes up. He was wearing a biker mask with only his eyes showing. At first, I thought nothing of him, so I just ringed up his food, which is just some chicken meal. He then asked for a patron margarita. Yes, we do sell those. Due to policy, I asked for his ID to verify his age and tell him that he cannot leave without it. That's when he gets huffy and angry, saying, "Why the hell do I need to show my ID? I'm not a child." I was taken aback by this because while customers before complained about this, they understood that I was doing my job and had to ask them that. The man-child was nearly shouting and going on, taking a long time and causing a scene. Once he calmed down, he showed his ID. In my mind, I thought, okay, weird, but at least it was done. Boy, was I wrong. I told him the total, which was less than $20. He then proceeds to give me a 100 bill. We can't accept this. We even have a clearly visible sign saying that. I told him this, and he just lost it. He starts to rant. "I don't have any damn change. Just accept the 100. Donna and Johnny were right there making online orders when the man-child was shouting and starting to approach him. The nice lady was rolling her eyes and had $100 in 520s. So she trades with him so he can pay for his food. You think it will be the end of it, right? Wrong. He still rants about me not accepting the 100 bill. Johnny came between us, making sure he was far away from me. Johnny is bigger than the man-child, so I guess that intimidated him a bit. Johnny explained that it was not my fault, and that it's company policy. This further infuriated the man-child, and that's where Donna comes in. Now, while Donna is taller than me, she's slightly shorter than the man-child. She told him to calm down and wait for his patron margarita, as it takes a while to make. The man-child is still pissy and shouts about how he can easily make this day worse for everyone involved. There is a lot of second-hand embarrassment right now. Donna did not take it lightly and told him to leave, but he refused because he wanted his damn margarita now. Meanwhile, I was ringing up the nice lady's order and she told me that she hopes that the rest of my shift will be as smooth as possible. The man-child then shouts how he's from the inner city while we are from the suburbs. I was indeed from the suburbs, so very close to the city, but some of my co-workers are from the city. Still, what does that have to do anything? Was it a tactic to scare us? Donna went to the back and the man-child started talking to the nice man about how unfair he was being treated. For context, the man-child, the staff, and I are black, so I don't know why he's saying that as he keeps going on. The nice man just ignored him. Then a police car drives up. I thought it was another customer as the police would come here to have lunch. It turns out that Donna called the police on the man-child. It enraged him and he started shouting more. Donna comes back out to talk to the police about him and the man-child starts shouting more. The police then take the man-child aside to get his side of the story. I don't know what's been said, but I was too busy with the customers. The police went to the back with Donna. I'm guessing to look at the surveillance while the man-child is still ranting. Cruz then keeps explaining to the man that the restaurant had to follow the rules and that threatening to make our day worse is completely unnecessary. The man-child demanded to know where his patron margarita was. I mean, we can just give back a refund for his patron margarita. I think it was a bad idea to give this belligerent man something that could drastically alter his mood for the worse. He ended up leaving as he did not want to get arrested, as he was technically trespassing. I am not sure if the man-child got his patron margarita. So, I've been at my place of work, very large corporation, for 5 years now, and before I started I have them the lowdown on my disabilities, and yes, I will have more sick days than most, but I make clear from before the start and throughout that some days I won't be well enough to travel to the office, but will be well enough to work from home. Due to the business OPS, all staff are provided a laptop which you can plug in at any desk or work remotely on visits or even home. My managers didn't trust people to do work from home, and when it inevitably happened a few months in, I let them know I'm up for doing my work as usual, no problem, but I won't be able to physically commute to the office today. Just a note that my work was all business admin on a computer, so I could perform my duties to the full same standard wherever I was. My managers told me if I was not well enough to attend site, then I'm clearly not well enough to work, so I had to take a sick day or else admit I am well enough to work and therefore well enough to attend site and get in a car now. They were adamant, despite my explanations proving otherwise, that it was all or nothing. I didn't want to take a sick day as even though the first X amount was paid, scheme subsidized by the government, you only got so many per year before you didn't get any pay. But they told me not to work again by phoning me when I logged in anyway, just to set my out-of-office auto-reply on and reschedule a couple meetings, which were happening virtually anyway. So I took the day off, enjoying my rest and feeling much better as the day went on. So this happens a few times and I keep complaining and even bringing it to HR and senior managers, but apparently it was my manager's discretion, so it wouldn't help me. My days added up, and sure enough, the first 2 years of my employment, I lost a few hundred due to too many sick days when I was not actually sick, just unable to physically get to work. Then COVID happened. No one was allowed to attend the site. Everyone had to work from home. But due to all my complaining over the last 2 years, I had heaps of evidence in writing from my managers and essentially backed up my seniors in HR that I was not allowed to ever work from home. So I didn't. They were not happy, but I held my ground. My partner was in her 3rd trimester, so I was looking forward to having all the extra time to help her and be with a baby. They logged it as sick leave despite me stating and even getting a fit note from the doctor confirming I was fully fit and well enough to work. Pay run out within a number of weeks. I was pissed but semi-expecting it. Didn't think lockdown would be so ongoing. But without pay, it was going to be untenable for me going forward, so I had to fight it, and what I wanted to fix was my absence not being paid leave. I gave them the alternative option though that I could work from home and, as my personal health and job circumstances had not changed, they would have to admit they intentionally forced me to take sick leave unnecessarily over 2 years. Meaning they would have to pay that back instead. They did not budge. So I sued. They did their best to ignore the suit, so I started building up my case formally, including a subject access request where they have to give me any documents or even notes held on the system that are about me in any way. This included emails between my managers asking HR how they would fire me, and HR apologizing that they couldn't find legal grounds to unless I changed my story at any point, i.e., if I gave up the suit and continued working for them, then they would view my lawsuit as fraudulent and terminate my employment. Anyway, this backfired on them as seeing this showed me that I could never drop the case. I won't go into full logistics, but when it went in front of a judge, their lawyers were embarrassed, and before the case was over, they offered me a settlement to more than cover my lost wages, even though I was never doing any of this to make money, but to just be treated fairly and respectfully as an employee. I decided to let the case finish, and at the end, without me saying anything, they doubled their first settlement offer with the condition that we agreed that we would all move on from the entire ordeal. I was allowed to work from home, and after COVID continued to do so at my own unchallenged discretion. So I accepted. Okay, I actually believe it wasn't trust issues in general, but me personally, because I'm disabled. But there is actually an exemption that you don't have to follow SARs if there is an ongoing legal challenge, but luckily for me, they didn't bother checking that. My next door neighbor thought it would have been funny to steal all of our furniture out of our house. This was in college and we were friends with them, so it was all in good fun. There was no one home at the time, so they saw that they were so cute, so clever, I caught them when they took the last couch and my beanbag chair. I demanded my beanbag back, which I tackled someone for, but I wanted to go home and decompress from work. I didn't want to get all of our furniture back in the house, and it was also nighttime. The next day, my roommates and I are trying to figure out how to give back at them. We were impressed by how much effort they put in to grab the 4 couches, 3 coffee tables, dinner table, and chairs, and so on. We then realized their house was so small and it must have taken up all the open space, so we decided not to do anything about it. We go over there after 2 days and they complain that they have to climb over the couches and tables to literally go anywhere in the house. There was no more walkable space in the house. They thought we couldn't wait them out, but they ended up yielding in the end. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.